Hey, what is going on, guys? It's the SS Ultimate Goku back another video. And today we're going to be talking about this news that came out a couple days ago. We're getting to it now, but we're going to talk about it because there's still a lot of things going on with it. But apparently there is a new RWBY anime coming out. And when I mean anime, I mean the literalist terms of anime, as in this anime is actually being made by the Japanese. Um, Not that that doesn't take away anything from RWBY actually being an anime, because it is, from the main series, but um, this anime or this RWBY anime is actually being done in Japan. Um, it will be dubbed. Now, I don't know the full story behind like why this is becoming a thing or what went down with this. Um, so they're doing it in Japan, and it's basically like, I mean, obviously Rooster Teeth had to sign off on it. They obviously had to give the okays of certain things that they wanted and certain things they didn't want in. So we should put that out there, because it's not just like, oh, they got to do whatever they want. No, I'm sure there were things that they could and could not do. Now, there is a bit of controversy with the writer of this from Japan. Um, some allegations came resurfaced from years ago that were addressed, but you guys can look that up yourself, but that's not what we're going to talk about here. Nonetheless, this was the cover we first seen. Now, I believe the name of this new project, like, they actually had a specific name for it, because they couldn't just outright just call it RWBY, because obviously the original series, which is still going on, even though it's been, I don't know if they're gonna have volume like 9 this year. They didn't obviously have it last year. But some point we'll get back to where they are with RWBY. The RWBY, not this RWBY that they're doing. But I was quite caught off guard by this. I'm not gonna lie. When I see her, I didn't even know this was even in production, to be completely honest with you, until this was. I seen this on my social media. Okay, so it's called WEISS Queendom. That is the official name of this project, and you can see WEISS is on the cover, and yes, yes, yes. The first thing I thought, like everyone else was, is Asdeath from Akame Kill. She literally is wearing the same uniform, with a couple changes with the the pants or whatever, the pant leggings there. Yes, I do see where people are getting this from. I don't know what to think about it. There's been a lot of theories, and there's a lot of been speculations on what this series is. We got a trailer, which a lot of people think is a retelling of the first 2 seasons. A lot of people saying this is an alternate universe, or this is a multiverse. There's a lot of different theories going on, especially once the trailer came out. I believe this is an alternate reality universe, something like a DC, a Marvel type thing. That this is not connected to the main series. It technically is connected to the main series, but it's not in the same universe, basically. They are going to probably start off doing similar things from the first 2 volumes, because the trailer kind of gets into that. I wish they would have kind of released it dubbed, because I couldn't even like really watch it. I had to like mute the whole damn thing, but I did see some of the visual of what was going on. But nonetheless, I don't think this is like a remake of the first 2 seasons. No, it is not a remake. It is not. It's completely its own thing. Like I said, I think with this thing, what they're gonna do is they're gonna adapt things that happened in the original series, the first 2 series, and they're going to branch off into something else that didn't happen in the original universe, because obviously this is a different universe of RWBY. And that's usually how DC Marvel universes really work too, to a certain extent. When Batman, is in multiple different universes in DC, the origins of Batman is the same, for example, but obviously it goes into a different directions. This is kind of the formula of DC and Marvel. So it doesn't really surprise me that they're going to use similar elements to the beginnings of RWBY Volumes 1 and 2, and then stir off into its own direction. The cover this cover right here clearly indicates this is not the same universe. You see these robot Grims in the back. And then you see WEISS, again, looks like Asdef here. She never wore this outfit in the main series. So that gives it away right there that this is not going to be the same. Now, I am curious to wonder what exactly is going to, have WEISS go in this path, because I do think WEISS is going to become a villain in this. A lot of people are already throwing this out here that WEISS is going to be a villain in this series, and I believe it. I think she will be a villain. I don't know how. I don't know what this is. Maybe she takes the role of Cinder. I don't know, but she's definitely, I think, going to be a villain in this, because the outfit she's wearing, and literally you got Grimm's right in the background, and she's sitting there on the Queen, and it's literally called Ice Queendom. Which kind of indicates that this story is going to be about WEISS. But she's going to be the villain in some way. Like I said, I don't know where exactly the difference will come into effect on how things change from the main universe to this universe. But I do think that's kind of where this is going to be. Now, here's another little thing that I thought was kind of interesting that caught my eye. So this is WEISS looking at herself. Now some people are thinking, well, this is just maybe her looking at a mirror, or looking, her doubting herself or something like that. I don't think that's at all. I think this WEISS right here that we're seeing is the WEISS that we know. This is the WEISS we know, right? This is the WEISS we know from the main timeline. And the WEISS that the main timeline WEISS is looking at is the new WEISS. The villain WEISS. Because look how her hair's down a little bit more. And, you see the necklace, the earring. The earring on her ear right here, which, as you can see, the main timeline WEISS, which is the WEISS from the universe that we know, the main universe, you can tell that this is not something that she's worn before. So this tells me this is completely different WEISS. This is going to be the WEISS of this series. Now, I don't know how they get this crossover interaction, but it's definitely going to happen. So I think this series does revolve around WEISS. Like I said, I don't know how she becomes a villain in this, but I do believe WEISS, the story is going to be about WEISS, but she's going to be a villain. And I do believe this. I do believe this. I know a lot of people are jumping on that train, but from what I've seen here, from what I've seen from the promotional thing, it really seems that this is, especially since the name. The name kind of gives it away. That this is going to be about WEISS. Which is kind of interesting, since the main series is supposed to revolve around RWBY. That's why it's called RWBY. She's the leader of the team, and, it's supposed to be kind of her story. Not to take away from everyone else, but RWBY was designed to be like, you know, the main character, not let me like not the main character, like the number one main character out of them all. Not to say that all the other characters aren't kind of main characters too, but RWBY's supposed to be kind of the main, like the main character. But it doesn't seem like in this it's gonna be like that. In this, it seems like it's gonna be WEISS, but it's gonna be a villain direction, which again is quite interesting. Now, from what we remember in the original RWBY, if you remember, WEISS was kind of a schnob in the beginning. Was kind of full of herself, but then of course, then of course, kind of came around much later. But I think this WEISS is going to take a darker path, which leads to her becoming what she becomes in this, which I think is going to be really curious when you see this WEISS crossing paths with the WEISS that we're going to meet in this universe. And here's another confirmation of it. This right here. So if you guys notice, the first set of outfits for all the main characters, right? From RWBY and Team Juniper. Okay, they're, in their, original Volume 1 outfit, right? The outfits that they started with. But then when you look next to them, all the outfits that they're wearing are outfits that they never wore before. And yes, I'm counting John in this too, even though John's new outfit is quite lame, since literally all it is an orange scarf and an orange hat. But nonetheless, it's still a different uniform than he ever had worn in the RWBY main timeline. So RWBY never wore this jacket and bike helmet. Obviously WEISS never looked like Asdef. Blake never wore this outfit. Yang never wore this outfit. Nora never wore this coat. And Ren never wore this outfit. And then, of course, the most important thing that I got out of this was Pura. Pura was the most interesting one here, because if you notice, look at Pura's new outfit. Okay, Pura's new outfit literally looks like WEISS's outfit from Volume 5. It literally looks like her Volume 5 outfit. It basically is her Volume 5 outfit without the blue color. Instead, she has the red color, which is her color. And the one thing I also got out of this, she and WEISS are literally the only two characters that actually look older in this. RWBY looks the same age in her outfit. Nora looks the same. Ren looks the same. Blake looks the same. Yang sort of looks older, but that could just be because the hairdo is a little different. But I guess you could use that argument too. But for the most part, literally WEISS and Pura actually look older in this, in their outfits. If you look really closely at their outfits, and the way they're postured, and here, for anybody who doesn't know by now, you should. Pura dies in Volume 3. Okay, she dies in Volume 3. What if in this timeline, because she never wore this outfit before, as a matter of fact, she never wore any other outfit except for her armor outfit. What if in this timeline, Pura survives the attack? Because remember, they were trying to transfer the abilities from Autumn, who was basically half dead at this point. They were trying to transfer the remaining maiden fall powers to Pura. But they said that they didn't know they didn't know if Pura would be her anymore. if she had gotten Amber's, basically personality put in her. What if this Pura successfully goes through the transfer and becomes the Fall Maiden? Because if you look at this outfit right here, this outfit is a complete 180 to what Pura wears. Okay? It is a complete 180. Okay? And so, to me, this right here tells me that Pura's probably going to be the Fall Maiden in this. And maybe even WEISS becomes the Winter Maiden because, again, she looks like a general here, basically. This is quite interesting to look at this and to see this. If you ask me. Again, these are just my theories. Because again, there's a lot of evidence that points to this. And I just thought I should point it out. Again, it's still a little too early to know for sure, but I do believe that this is a different universe, that this new anime is a different universe, and it's definitely gonna revolve around WEISS. But I think she's gonna be a villain in this. And maybe it's going to be against Pura. Who knows? I am very curious at what else is going to be different. But yeah, this is a quite interesting approach to what they're doing. Again, this is a different universe from the main timeline. So anything is possible because, again, this is not the same universe. They are basically doing a DC type deal here. Which in a way actually would be kind of cool because you're going to get different interactions from these characters on screen. Different perspectives from these versions of the character compared to the main characters of the original timeline that we know. I think it will add a different element to it as well. I am curious to why they decided that WEISS was going to be really kind of the main character, whether she is a hero in this or a villain. I am leaning more to her being a villain in this because, again, the outfit she's wearing just, to me, screams villain. It screams villain, and the whole thing in the background, it just, to me, it just doesn't seem like it can't be any other way. And Pura is going to be alive in this probably. Like, I don't think she dies in this version. So you're going to get to see what Pura could do in this. And the characters' personality, and also you should say the characters' personalities are still remaining the same because obviously they are using their original season 1 gears here, but they obviously take a different turn in their lives, which leads them down different paths than what you see the current RWBY people do. So I think this is quite interesting. And again, I'm very much looking forward to what they end up doing here with this new RWBY series. Let me know what you guys think about this. What do you guys think? Where do you guys stand on this? And also, supposedly this is going to be dubbed, so I will definitely be checking it out in the summer. There was, I guess, something on Crunchyroll. They had an article, then it got deleted because they weren't supposed to post it, apparently. But we know it is going to be dubbed, and it won't just be subbed. I mean, English dubbed. I mean, it's going to be Japanese dubbed and then English dubbed, because RWBY is technically an American anime, so wouldn't the English be technically first? Man, it's getting confusing. But nonetheless, it is getting dubbed. It is getting English dubbed. It won't just be Japanese dub. Because obviously the English is from the American version, even though the American version is the original and not the Japanese version. And God, it's kind of it's a reversal effect. You know what I mean? Anyways, so yes, whenever this comes out, we'll do dub. We'll do a dub review. And in terms of the animation, because it's 2D, I got mixed feelings about it. I don't really not dislike the animation. It's just that I'm so used to RWBY being the way it is with the Maya, and then of course later on with the advanced version of the animation that they did. I'm kind of used to that for RWBY, so it is kind of weird seeing it in 2D, you know, because that's just not how I pictured it. But I do think it looks it looks really good. It's just not something that I'm really used to when it comes to RWBY, so it will definitely be different. But yeah, if RWBY was originally like that, it would be one thing, but it wasn't. So it kind of is like, what the fuck? Excuse my French. But like, you know, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I'm very interested. I'm very interested to see. I'm also very interested to see what all the other characters are going to be like. Like, where's Winter in this? Where's Cinder in this? Where's Salem in this? You know, what about all these other characters from the main universe? Are they going to have timeline universe characters in this version? You know what I'm saying? Like, where are their statuses going to be? Because we haven't really seen that much about them yet. So I'm very, very interested to see what happens here. But that's about it. Comment, rate. If you like this video, my videos, please subscribe. Hit that notification bell for all the latest contents. And yeah, that is about it, guys. I am the SS Ultimate Goku, moderate